hunter, I'm a man, and I am proud of who I am. I'm proud of who I am.
Robinson, we keep it real. My hometown, we do not steal. January, Garawa, speak the truth. Barefoot warrior, don't need no boots.
I'm not gaming, that's the truth. Come to my town to have a look. Big barramundies on the hook. Take it home for me to cook. I'm DK, I got something to say. From Robinson to BLA. Crazy fisherman from Savannah Way. Listen up, y'all, I got something to say.
Keep on rocking. Keep on rocking. Friends and family come together. One big mob in Carpentaria. Keep on rocking. Keep on rocking. Friends and family come together. One big mob in Carpentaria.
Riding around with my motorbike. Ain't going home till I see the moonlight. My name is Davis, they call me Wissy. Making big dust when I'm drifting.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Bernie and Rango at your door. Chosen on the beat, Toothy on the street. S. Evans, Big T, Charlie, Javis and Noah on the mic. Sonny's out here, he bustin' the rhyme. DK and Declan trying to get with ya. Don't get it twisted, his name is Sylvester. Throw your hands up now, give it everything, cause you know he's on the flow like Jaden King. Fire like a cannon, you down with Shannon. Lula Robinson, you know we ain't trippin'. Staying in the game like a straight up player. Proving to the illest kid down with Mahala. Giving you this message as loud as a bell. Holding it down, deuces upside sound.
Bringing all the noise, his name is Tenace. RTL to BLA.
People always tell me, you flow so cruisy. Remember my name, the name is Tootie.
Come join us on this musical journey. I'll show you the way, my name is Benny.
We love to go hunting day and night. You should see what we catch, it's out of sight.
Fishing is the way, the life, and that's truth. I'm about to get loose, telling you that's my hooks. Feeding my family is always priority. Chuck a line out and there ain't nothing new to me.
Jay Hogan is here, full blood whiny man, here to represent my people and my land. BLA is where I come from, all the skills I know that once was heritage. They came from the old ones, but now it's my time. I'm standing up, I'm grabbing my books, I'm writing my notes, I'm making a rhyme. I'm ready to rap, I'm ready to speak, I'm ready to spit, I'm ready to stand for the young and speak for the old. I'm Jay Hogan, so what's up, BLA?
We're the barefoot warriors. What? We're the barefoot warriors. Hey, we're the barefoot warriors. What? Walking around in the bush, we don't need no boots. We're the barefoot warriors. What? We're the barefoot warriors. Hey, we're the barefoot warriors. What? Walking around in the bush, we don't need no boots. Keep on rocking. Keep on rocking. Friends and family come together. One big mob in Carpentaria. Keep on rocking. Keep on rocking. Friends and family come together. One big mob in Carpentaria.
Good morning.
Welcome back to Yirara.
Good afternoon everyone and welcome to this beautiful Tuesday, our second math lesson of the week. My name is Mr. Liko.
And I'm Miss Makey.
And let's have a look at what we've got on the lineup for today. So today we are learning to recap on our tasks in our workbooks from yesterday. We're also learning to order numbers using our understanding of place value. And we introduced that learning yesterday in our math lesson, and we're going to do more of that work in our lesson today. And then we're going to use our skip counting skills to solve money problems, and we have some play money with us today, and also solve some of our basic times tables for you today. Okay, so I've got the help of Kamisha. I'm going to ask Kamisha to come down to our work desk, and we're going to recap on our tasks from our workbooks yesterday. So we had 2 pages on screen yesterday, and as you can see on the left page there we have the numbers and all the words next to them, so what those numbers look like in words. And then on the right hand side we had yesterday's activity, and we use those words to be able to complete question number 3 at the bottom there. So we've done question number 3, A, B, C and D. Yeah, so we have question number 3, we have A, B, C and D, and then we're going to have a look at question 3E. And the number that we have there, what number do we have there, Kamisha?
We got 350.
Cool, so we've got 350. How do we write that into words? So using that word chart on page 1 of your workbook, we have 3, and if you've forgotten how to spell 3, it's right there for you, okay? 100 is right at the bottom there, so for you to spell, and then 50, okay, what that looks like in a word is right there next to that number 50. So we have 350, and we write the words exactly as we say it, okay? So as we know that, we wrote that 350, okay? Let's have a look at question number 3F. So the number we have there is what, Kamisha?
4,010.
Cool, 4,010, and Kamisha's gone ahead and written that number into words for us. And how she done that was she simply took the words from that that word chart with the numbers alongside it and matched those numbers together, and we write 4,010 exactly as we say it into words. Okay, so that should be pretty straightforward, and hopefully you had fun completing that task. So we'll take those 2 sheets away, and we'll bring the next one that we done yesterday, and we're going to show a completed version of that sheet we done yesterday. So at the top there we have question number 4. The question was, write down the smallest number in the set. So Kamisha had 3 numbers there. She had 2,673, she had 1,978, and she circled that for a reason, and we're going to explain that in a second. And we had 3,415. So what Kamisha done is she split those numbers and she broke those into smaller parts, and we call that partitioning, and we should know the meaning of that word now. So we partition those numbers into smaller parts, making it easier for us to work with. So the reason why we broke it up is because we need to see what the smallest number was in that set. And as you can see, Miss Kamisha has gone ahead and circled 1,978. The reason why she circled that number is because that's simply the smallest number out of those 3 numbers, and she wrote that on the line as well. Okay. Now, question number 5 gets a little bit trickier. Now, we have to order those numbers from smallest to largest. So we have 6 numbers there, all right? And yesterday we gave you the smallest number, which was 3,119. And then we also gave you the biggest number, which was 3,829. Your task was now to fill in the missing numbers in the spaces between those 2 numbers and see how well you can use your place value to see if you can order the numbers from smallest to largest. So Miss Kamisha has gone ahead and done that. All right, so what's that second number that you've got there? What's the second smallest number?
3,355.
Cool, and as you can see, Miss Kamisha has broken that number into her place value chart. So she's got 3 in the 3,000, 3 in the 300s, 5 in the 510s, and 5 in the 51s. Okay, the next number is number 3 there, Miss Kamisha?
3,511.
Cool, and she's done the same thing, gone ahead and broken that number into the correct place value boxes. The next number was?
3,578.
Perfect. No, and she's gone ahead and done the same thing. And then the second biggest number is?
3,672.
Perfect. So there's lots of ways that we can do this, but one way that we can find the biggest or the smallest number. So in question number 5B, it asks you, how did you know which number was the smallest? So Ms. Kamisha, can you explain? How did you know which number was the smallest out of that set of numbers?
For me, in order to get the smallest number, I had to find the lowest number in the hundreds column, which is number 1. So therefore, my answer would be 3,119.
Perfect. Okay. So as you can see in the hundreds column, right, all of these numbers, we find the smallest number and we can see it's right at the top there. And that's how Kamisha, a strategy that Kamisha used to find the smallest number, which is exactly what it's asking you to do. So thank you for that, Kamisha. And then we're going to move into today's task. So as you can see at the top there, it says week 6, day 1 at the supermarket. And we've got a few warm-up counting tasks for you to complete before we start using some money and take you to the supermarket to calculate some of those prices there. All right, so we have complete the skip counting pattern for question number 1. So we have 2, 4, and 6. Okay, so we know we're going up in 2s. What would the next number be, Ms. Kamisha?
Well, 2 from 6 is 8.
Cool.
And then you want to plus another 2 onto that, which is 10. And then 10 plus 2 would be 12. 12 plus 2 is 14, plus another 2, which is 16. And then you just want to keep doing that all the way till you get to 22.
Perfect, well done. So, as you can see there, there's your blank missing lines there. So if you go up in twos, we're just revising, counting up in twos, and you should be able to fill in those missing spaces. Let's do one more example. So we have complete the skip counting pattern, and this time we're going up in 5. So we have 5 plus another 5 is 10. You add another 5 onto that is 15. So now we need 15 plus 5. What's that number, Ms. Kemisha?
To help me remember, I usually count on my fingers. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Cool, nice.
And then 5 from that would be 25. And you just keep going till you fill it all the way up. So you're just plussing 5 from the number you get every time.
Perfect. All right. And as you can see, a number pattern that you can see is that every second number has a 0 in it, and then the other number has a 5 in it on the end. So it will either end in 5 or a 0, which is another way that you can complete that number pattern. So we'll let you have a go at completing question number 3 on your own, and hopefully we can revisit those answers in our lesson tomorrow. So question number 4, you can see that we're going to the supermarket now. I'm going to read out this little story for you. Sam works at the supermarket. Sam wants to know how much customers will pay. Record the multiplication problems and use skip counting patterns to help you solve them. Okay, so we've got a menu there, right? We've got a few tasty foods on the menu there, and we're going to have a look at how we can solve some of those problems. So we've done the first one for you. So 4 bags of bread rolls. If we have a look at how much bread rolls are, it says it's $5, but we need 4 bags. So 4 times 5 equals 20. So you'll need $20 to buy 4 bags of bread rolls. Okay, so using money, we're going to help you with the next 3 examples, so then you can move on and do the rest on your own. So we have 5 boxes of pizzas. All right, how much are pizzas, Ms. Kemisha?
They're $10 each.
Cool. So using money, we're going to help you calculate how much you would need to get 5 boxes of pizza. So what do we have there, Ms. Kemisha?
We've got $10 notes. So in order to make 50, you would have to count out 5 $10 notes.
Cool.
So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Cool. So you have 10 plus another 10 plus another 10, and 2 more 10s will give you $50. So if we write that into a number sentence, we'd have 5 times $10 notes, or the $10 that we've just counted out on screen, right, gives you $50. And this way, Sam can now afford to buy 5 boxes of pizzas because we have $10 notes there. Okay. Our next part is 6 bags of apples. How much are apples there, Ms. Kemisha?
They're $3.
Cool. All right. So we know that using money, we need 1 $2 coin and 1 $1 coin, because obviously we don't have a $3 coin. So we're going to put those 2 together, and we're going to see just how much 6 bags of apples comes up to. Okay. So using the money that Ms. Kemisha has, we're going to count together. So we have $3 plus another 3 is $6.
Plus another 3.
$9, $12, $15, and $18. Okay, so we have 6 sets of $3 there, as you can see on the screen, and it gives us $18. And we're going to write that in a number sentence. So we have 6 times 3 gives you $18 in total. All right, let's do one more together, and then we'll let you do the rest on your own. So we have 3 packets of biscuits. How much are biscuits on the menu there, Ms. Kemisha?
Biscuits are $2 each.
Cool. So nice and cheap. All right, so we have 3 packets of biscuits. So we're going to count what we need, how much we need to buy 3 packets of biscuits. So we use the first $2 coin. Cool, that's 2. Plus another 2 is 4. Plus another 2 is 6. So Sam would need $6, as you can see on the screen there, to get 3 packets of biscuits. So we'll write that in a number sentence. We have 2 times 3 gives you $6. All right, so $2 times 3 packets of biscuits gives you $6. Okay, so you can use money that you might have lying around there back at home or back in community, and hopefully that will help you use that menu on page number 12 of your workbooks to solve the rest of those problems. Okay, thank you, Ms. Kemisha, for your help.
No worries.
All right, cool. So that brings us to the end of our math lesson for today. Let's have a look at what we're able to achieve. So we are able to complete our set tasks in our workbooks, and hopefully you can go on and complete the rest of those questions. We're also able to order and compare numbers using our understanding of place value. So we've been really, really good at breaking those big numbers into smaller sets so that it makes it easier for us to work with. And now we're also able to solve number problems and learn our times tables using skip counting, and also, if you have some lying around, using some money to help you with your counting and also your times tables. Hopefully you're able to learn lots from that, and we'll revisit some of those questions tomorrow and introduce our next task in our workbooks. But for now, we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you very much, Kamisha, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
Hi everyone. In integrated learning so far, we've looked at Aboriginal sacred sites. Well, right here at Yirara College, we have some of our very own Aboriginal staff who's going to share with us some stories and why Aboriginal sacred sites are very important to Aboriginal culture. Let's see what they have to say.
What's your name and where do you come from?
Yamba. My name is Lee Merritt. I'm a Wodja man from Condobolin, New South Wales.
My name is Miss Sophie and I'm a Western Arundel woman, born and bred in Alice Springs.
My name is Mawisha McCormack. I'm from Alice Springs, Arundel woman and Pitinjara woman.
Dagan, I'm from T3, Ingamajara.
Paya, my name's Keegan. I'm a Lurcha man from Brisbane.
Hi, my name is Kamisha. I'm a Arabana and Adyamatna woman on my mum's side from South Australia. I'm Waka Waka on my dad's side from Brisbane.
And I'm Daniel Myers. My mum's a Yoda Arundel woman from Alice Springs and Planning Highway.
My name is Shane. I'm a Warramunga man from Tanning Creek.
Hi, I'm Steve Silva. I'm a Bunungo man from Nooka, Top End. And I speak Creole.
Why are Aboriginal sacred sites important to you?
Sacred sites are important to me and many other Aboriginal people because they are the places that hold the songs, the dances, the objects and stories of creation, and they also connect certain Aboriginal people to different places that are rightfully theirs.
It's all about where I'm from, it's about my culture, it's about understanding a way of life. It is everything to me and to all other Indigenous people. It brings community, families, and it makes everyone a whole. And that's, to me, is about uniting everyone together. And this is actually a big thing for all of us. So it unites all of us, and it's something that's true to our hearts and very, very important to us as Aboriginal people.
Sacred sites are important to Aboriginal people and to women's law and men's law that are a part of Dreamtime, creation, stories, and etc.
Tell stories about our ancestors and the law between every culture, and it shows where you come from, what skin name, what language group, what land group you are, and shows everything that your skin name, all that stuff. And it's important to every Aboriginal people in this land.
A sacred site means a place that shouldn't be touched or destroyed. It's a place for remembrance. A sacred site is one similar to the rock art out at Emily Gap. Sacred sites are important to me because it means something to us and to our culture, which is why we don't want it damaged or destroyed. They also hold stories and are very important to Aboriginal law.
Aboriginal sacred sites have special meanings and connections. They usually have a story wherever they're based. This is something that my people have proudly owned since our ancestors have been around, so it's something we keep close to our heritage. It's very important to us. There's many sacred sites in Australia with many different stories. In Central Australia there's a few. Dan, do you know any sites around Alice?
Yeah, so I know there's a lot around Alice. There's the McDonald Ranges. There's a lot on the McDonald Ranges. Actually, you've got Jessie Gap, Emily Gap, Trafina Gorge, all out Ross River Way, the Tree of Knowledge at Traeger Park, it's a big one for a lot of a lot of locals as well. There's the one across the road from the hospital. I forgot what it's called, but I know there's one there, but there's a lot, yeah, I know a fair bit of them.
Sacred sites to me is very important because it defines who we are. It keeps the stories going for generations coming through. And it also protects that certain environment from people entering and stuff like that. So that's why it's important to me.
Aboriginal sacred sites is important because it has knowledge, culture, and spirit.
I know a few sacred sites in Alice Springs. I know mainly that Aluka is one of them, which is a health clinic run through Congress. I know that women are only allowed there, and it's women's dreaming. And if you are a male, you are only allowed out till you're 4 years old. Other than that, after that, you're no longer allowed on site. That's probably mainly one of the main ones I know. What about you?
I reckon the one I know a bit about is the Tree of Knowledge at Dragon Park. Like, I know it's a sacred tree because when they was going to build a grandstand, that they couldn't cut the tree down, they had to build around it. And I know that's been there for years, since the footy has been built there. So that's a very old tree, and one you can't touch at all, because it means a lot to, I guess, the community, the footy community, the locals, and it has a big part of our history. So that's probably the main one, I reckon.
Yeah, same.
We're going to take a tour of the Aboriginal sacred sites right here on Aranda land. Right here in Alice Springs, we have some beautiful scenery, some plants, and also some bush tucker that Mr. Dan is going to help me explain, and also hear the stories of our Aboriginal people right here in Alice Springs. So you guys check it out. Let's go. Hey everyone, so as you can see, we're here at the beautiful Emily Gap. This is where Mr. Dan is from, his country and his land. And Dan has got a few cool facts about this place, which is really significant to this sacred site right here in Alice Springs. What are some cool facts about this place, Dan?
Yeah. So a very good fact about this place is this is the men's dreaming. So this is our dreaming, the men's dreaming of Emily Gap. Fun fact here, you can't take photos of any art gallery, any artwork inside the gap, only just the outside. And it just feels good, it's just connected to country, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So when we come here next, hopefully you can see the significance of this place, but enjoy also the beautiful native plants that we can see. And just behind us here, there's a bit of water here, which is not normal. So it's great to see some water here, and a really nice place to visit. But again, it is a sacred site to our Aboriginal people right here in Alice Springs, and especially to the Aranda people. Let's go check out our next site. Here at our next site, we're here at the lovely Jesse's Gap. Again, another beautiful sacred site to our Aranda people right here in Alice Springs. Mr. Dan, can you give us some information about what's behind us right here?
Yeah, so Jesse Gap, this is the opposite of Emily. This is a woman's dreaming, of course. So all the women are here. This is their dreaming. So it's the opposite of Emily Gap, but it's the woman's dreaming, this one. So yeah, so we got the men's dreaming line and the woman's dreaming line along this side. So yeah.
So another beautiful sacred site. Again, hopefully we can come and have a look at this place and just enjoy the scenery behind us. Some beautiful trees, as you can see us, some water behind us as well. So really fascinating to see. Let's go and check out another site. Alright, right behind me we have the Corroboree Rock. This is an Aboriginal sacred site, sacred to the Eastern Aranda people. The great thing about this site is the bush tucker here, such as wild passion fruit, wild orange. We've also got parenti and the witchery grub. If it weren't for this bush tucker, this land or this sacred site would not be here today. So it's great to see that this bush tucker really adds to the survival of this beautiful site, Corroboree Rock, right here in Aranda land. All right, there you have it, everyone. We've just checked out the beautiful Aboriginal sacred sites right here in Alice Springs. We hope you now have a better understanding of the importance and the true meaning behind these amazing sacred sites we see before us. The stories, the traditions, and also the culture that is important in these sacred sites is very, very valuable. Thank you to Mr. Max and Mr. Daniel for their help. It's been awesome, and I hope that when you come back to Alice Springs, you get to check out these sacred sites yourself. Until then, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Yirara to You Music. Today we're going to be looking at bass guitar maintenance. Right, so I found this old school bass guitar hidden in a cupboard, gathering dust, and it's broken. It desperately needs some attention. So we're going to give it a full setup today, a full service. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. I've taken the old strings off because it needs new strings. Later on we're going to adjust the neck because the neck has bent slightly. I'm going to show you how to do that. And if we turn it over, on the back, I've taken off this plastic plate here on the back to reveal all of the wiring inside, the electrical wiring, because obviously it's an electric bass guitar. One of the wires here has become detached, so when the bass was plugged into an amplifier, no sound came out, it didn't work. So I'm going to show you today how to solder that wire back together so that it works. We can strip the cable, so what that involves is getting some cable strippers or wire strippers, whatever you want to call them, and I've cut the wire again clean, so it's ready to start again. You just pop that in there. Don't squeeze it too hard because you'll cut through, all the way through, and then you just strip the rubber off of the wire so that the inside part is revealed. You only want about, maybe half a centimetre's worth of the inside part. And twist it round, make sure it's all nice and tight and pointy. Okay, that's ready. Now, flip the bass over, and we need to take off this input plate here. This is the part of the guitar where you plug the cable in, and then the other end of the cable goes into an amplifier. So you get a little Phillips head screwdriver like this. Unscrew these screws. Now, when you're dealing with a soldering iron, which is this thing here, you have to be extremely careful and safety conscious because they are very, very hot. They will burn you quite easily, and you need to be in a well ventilated area. So I'm here today sitting next to an open window, and the door is also open. So when it's hot enough, you've got to wait about 3 minutes for it to heat up. We just got to melt away this old solder here. There we go, you can see it melting away. And there's a bit of old wire in there too, so we'll get rid of that. There we go, that's fallen through, that's fine. Now the wet cloth is just to wipe off any excess solder. Maybe I can poke it through. There you go. So now there's a hole there again, that's fine. We can use that. Put that back in its holder. Okay, right, for this part we're going to need to flip the bass back over again. So you can screw the input back in. We don't need to take that out anymore. Flip it over. Okay. So this is the stuff you're going to need. This is the solder, or the wire that melts. So this will hold the wire to the input. So what we need to do is a little bit fiddly. So you need to have good lighting and good eyesight. You need to thread the wire through that hole you've just made. You might need to bend it a bit just to get in there. There you go, that's in there like that. Now, to make sure it stays there, grab a pair of pliers and just squeeze it on there so it grips. Okay. Now what we do, take some of this solder, cut it off with your pliers. You probably need, I don't know, what's that, about 10 centimeters, something like that. You won't need to use all of it, but you need to keep your hand a bit of a distance from the heat because it is very hot. So now, be very careful not to touch any of the other cables because they're covered in plastic and rubber, which obviously will melt very easily. So this is how we do it. We put the solder where you're going to be melting it, and then just rest the hot part of the soldering iron on top. And okay, make sure the hole is filled. A bit more. All right, and there we have it. It's nicely sealed up. That's not going anywhere. Yep, that's good. So hopefully when we put strings on the bass and plug it into an amp, it will work. Next thing you need to do is pop the plate back on. Okay, so the next phase is cleaning the bass. Now, this is a pretty old bass that's been repeatedly used for years. So what you get on the fingerboard here is a lot of like grime build up, and there's people's sweaty fingers and the dirt on their hands and stuff, and it's pretty gross. It builds up on the wood here. So we're going to clean it off today. What you need, ideally, something like this, just an old card from your wallet that you don't need anymore, and you just got to scrape it off, and you can see it coming off pretty quick. Okay, so the next part is giving it a good clean with glass cleaner. Is pretty good for this because it makes it nice and shiny. Spray it on and up the neck, clean cloth. Now you might be wondering what this stuff is here. This is because we live in a very dry climate here in Central Australia. Wood will dry out and split when it gets very dry, so we need to protect it. And I find that a bit of olive oil sprayed on the neck you can also use lemon oil, or you can probably use other cooking oils as well, but I think olive oil works really well. Grab a different cloth to the one you just used to polish, and just wipe it all over the fingerboard. And you'll see that that really brings out the grain of the wood. You can see all the lines inside the wood there, and it looks really nice. Inside the neck there is a thing called a truss rod, which is like a long piece of metal with adjustable screws inside in the middle that you can twist it to make the neck go straight. So the access to the truss rod is here under this plate on this base. Sometimes they're down here at the bottom, but on this one it's up here. So you need to unscrew this plate. And the way to tell if the neck needs adjusting is to close one eye, get right down the bottom here on the head, and just look down the edge of the neck. So you don't look down it from the top, just get your line of sight down here on the edge. And to be honest, that looks pretty straight at the moment, but we can see what happens when we put the strings on. Right, so I've got some strings here, bass strings. All right, so this one here, this is the E string. You thread it through the bottom of the bridge. This whole thing here is called the bridge. Okay, you might need to bend it because it needs to come up and over the top of this. This thing here is called a saddle. It needs to come up and over like that. I might need to pull it quite hard. because bass strings are quite thick. Okay, when you're tightening a string, you want to tighten it round, twist this round to the left on this side for these two. Right, once all your strings are on and they're quite tight, you want to give them a bit of a stretch like this all the way up so they settle in. And now it's time to tune them. Right, let's go and plug it in, see if it works. Sounds good to me. Thanks for watching. See you again next time.
Good morning, middle school. It is so good to be with you today. So today we're going to be exploring peripheral devices. These are things that get plugged into a computer to make our life easier. Things that aren't necessarily always necessary. However, we can use them to make our jobs easier. Let's take a look. Peripheral devices. Things that get plugged into a computer to make our lives easier at work and at home. So a peripheral device is something that can get plugged in through a USB, a VGA, HDMI, Bluetooth, headphone jack, various connections. These things are used at school all the time. You guys have used many of them and you quite possibly have not even realized. A pair of headphones when you're listening to your videos, the keyboard and the mouse that are plugged into the computers, these are all peripheral devices, things that are helping us. So at this setup at the table, we have an external mouse and keyboard for the computer. My laptop is plugged into the smartboard and the projector. So the projector helps the students see things instead of coming straight up to my computer screen. Therefore, you can see that it makes our lives easier. Some other things that we like to enjoy here in class, microbit, a lot of you have used them. They can tell the temperature, check the weather, you can code them to show messages, images, various things. It's plugged in through the USB, and this is classed as a peripheral device. Another thing that we enjoy playing with is the Makey Makey. This is our new one. And the Makey Makey is plugged in as a peripheral device through the USB connection, and it can be coded to do various things. To complete a circuit, and you can replace parts of your computer, the mouse, the keyboard, and you can even use human connection to create a circuit to work on a computer. So these are all examples of peripheral devices. And some of you have used the 3D printer. We're going to get into that a little bit more this year, but that is a peripheral device as well, any form of a printer. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at other people's setups and how they use their peripheral devices to make their lives easier or more efficient. So let's go take a look at that now.
Hey everybody, Mr. Stevens tells me you're looking at peripheral devices, and those are devices that can make our life a bit easier, like headphones and things like that. So this is our live streaming setup. It's what we use to be able to send the awesome lessons that the teachers here at Yirara are presenting to you guys and your families out in community. This is quite a big setup in the sense it has a lot of different parts that plug into the main computer that runs everything. And the main computer or the main device is called the Black Magic Deck. And basically there are so many different peripheral devices that are plugged in here, so let's take a bit of a closer look. We've got obviously a monitor. So this is a monitor screen that's showing all the different cameras. So we can have up to 4 different screens, and that's different peripheral devices plugged into the deck that show on this screen. So one of our cameras are here. We've got another camera over there, and then behind this computer screen is a down-facing camera for when you see your teachers doing worksheets. Other peripheral devices is the microphones. They've got to plug directly into the deck so we can get that nice, clean, and crisp audio. We've got 2 microphones plugged into here. We've also got the computer. That's the PowerPoint presentations and the videos that the teachers want to show you. That gets plugged into the deck so it shows onto the screen. Other things that we've got happening is obviously we've got a pair of headphones so that when we're presenting, the person listening in can make sure all the audio levels are correct. And we also have a hard drive plugged into the deck, which basically stores all the recorded footage from our live stream so we can put it onto ICTV and get you guys to watch it if you don't have a mobile phone or internet at home. And those are the main peripheral devices that we have connected to the setup.
How you going, guys? So let's take a little bit closer look at the peripheral devices that we can use every day in different people's setups. So here I have my school laptop. Now within a laptop, everything is within the computer. You have your keyboard and your mouse within the actual computer itself. But if we take a look over here, this computer has the screen and the computer within itself. However, there's no keyboard or mouse attached to it. So that's where the peripheral devices come in. We have an external mouse, an external keyboard, which get plugged in to the USB ports underneath. And then, depending on what kind of work we're doing, we might need other things. So for example, this is Miss Rebecca's setup. She has 2 screens, which makes things easier for her. Instead of flipping between different documents, you can have one on either side. She has an SD card reader, so ones that come out of the cameras, a hard drive, and some headphones for listening to the audio. So everyone's setup can be different, but these peripheral devices can help our lives a lot more and make things a lot easier. Awesome. I hope you guys had a lot of fun today, checking out other people's setups and how they use things. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. You guys stay safe. Have a great week.
You ain't ready. You ain't ready. You ain't ready for change.
Only you can make the changes. Coming home in the paddy wagon, probably cause of the window you were smashing. Then with your friends the next day at school bragging, and maybe wagging with your pants swagging, talking about this and that, looking at your friends, you wanna copy that. Don't be a copycat, cause you will fall and stumble. Can't trust anybody these days, if the family get you in trouble. Drinking grog, smoking drug, puffing and sniffing on the spray, damaging your lungs, letting in the chemical gas. You ain't no gangster with your red and blue rags. It's Australia, represent the flag. In the darkness, trying to find my way out. Keep my motion flowing, going to shout it out. Got a lot going on, my thoughts in my mind making me blind. It's okay, let me freestyle and spit my rhyme. I hate it when the kids getting caught up paving their life for crime. Looking at you, you think it's a movie. I know, goofy, I'm my dark side, trying to find the light. Go home now and hurry. Stop making your mom and dad worry. Getting cop chase, better tighten up your shoelace. Get ready to own up to your mistakes. Kids, parents going to prison. Parents, kids don't listen. Late at night they're missing. Walking around town all night. Think you're cool, but you're a fool. You know that ain't right. Listen to this song, cause we made this. Underage kids getting locked up, we need to change this. Your favorite rapper Tupac said we need some changes. Here's the message, so take it. And I hope one day you can make it too. So that's the truth from me to you. I hope you can get it through to your friends and family. If you're with me, then stand with me. Go home now and hurry. Stop making your mom and dad worry. Getting cop chase, better tighten up your shoelace. Get ready to own up to your mistakes. Go home now and hurry. Stop making your mom and dad worry. Getting cop chase, better tighten up your shoelace. Get ready to own up to your mistakes.
I wanna walk around town with anybody harming me, but now I gotta run when they coming for me. I'm just trying to chill in harmony, cause everybody be telling me breaking here, breaking there. When you get locked up, your friends won't care. Now you got your moms on the knees and praise. Let her nap before she goes to sleep, cause she loves and miss you heap. Hoping nothing will ever happen to you when you're doing time, but the crew made you do the crime. Saying this from behind, made you full of regret. Wishing you could rewind so you could reject all the bad things you did as a kid. Made you live, but it's doing what you did. Follow in your footsteps when you smack the note. What's coming up next when you're skipping the friends? But that's all in the past now. After time will pass now. Negativity all around in this town. Gotta be a role model before the grab now. Got my boom ring happening, my clapstick clapping, my feet on my ground. Gotta turn my life around.
Hey! Go home now and hurry. Stop making your mom and dad worry. Getting cop chase, better tighten up your shoelace. Get ready to own up to your mistakes. Hey! Go home now and hurry. Stop making your mom and dad worry. Getting cop chase, better tighten up your shoelace. Get ready to own up to your mistakes. Hey!
Break it down, break it down, break it down, break it down, break it down.
Only you can make the changes. Only you can make the changes. Hey!
You ain't ready. You ain't ready. You ain't ready for change. You ain't ready.
Good morning.
Welcome back to Yirara.
How you going, seniors? It is so good to be with you today. So today we're going to be looking at peripheral devices, things that get plugged into a computer, like an external mouse or have headphones, things that make our life easier. They're not always necessary, but they can make our jobs quicker and more efficient. So let's go take a look at peripheral devices, things that get plugged into a computer to make our lives easier at work and at home. So a peripheral device is something that can get plugged in through a USB, a VGA, HDMI, Bluetooth, headphone jack, various connections. These things are used at school all the time. You guys have used many of them, and you quite possibly have not even realized. A pair of headphones when you're listening to your videos, the keyboard and the mouse that are plugged into the computers, these are all peripheral devices, things that are helping us. So at this setup at the table, we have an external mouse and keyboard for the computer. My laptop is plugged into the smartboard and the projector. So the projector helps the students see things instead of coming straight up to my computer screen. Therefore, you can see that it makes our lives easier. Some other things that we like to enjoy here in class, microbit, a lot of you have used them. They can tell the temperature, check the weather, you can code them to show messages, images, various things. It's plugged in through the USB, and this is classed as a peripheral device. Another thing that we enjoy playing with is the Makey Makey. This is our new one. And the Makey Makey is plugged in as a peripheral device with the USB connection, and it can be coded to do various things. To complete a circuit, and you can replace parts of your computer, the mouse, the keyboard, and you can even use human connection to create a circuit to work on a computer. So these are all examples of peripheral devices. And some of you have used the 3D printer. We're going to get into that a little bit more this year, but that is a peripheral device as well, any form of a printer. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at other people's setups and how they use their peripheral devices to make their lives easier or more efficient. So let's go take a look at that now.
Hey everybody, Mr. Stevens tells me you're looking at peripheral devices, and those are devices that can make our life a bit easier, like headphones and things like that. So this is our live streaming setup. It's what we use to be able to send the awesome lessons that the teachers here at Yirara are presenting to you guys and your families out in community. This is quite a big setup in the sense it has a lot of different parts that plug into the main computer that runs everything. And the main computer or the main device is called the Black Magic Deck. And basically there are so many different peripheral devices that are plugged in here, so let's take a bit of a closer look. We've got obviously a monitor. So this is a monitor screen that's showing all the different cameras. So we can have up to 4 different screens, and that's different peripheral devices plugged into the deck that show on this screen. So one of our cameras are here. We've got another camera over there, and then behind this computer screen is a down-facing camera for when you see your teachers doing worksheets. Other peripheral devices is the microphones. They've got to plug directly into the deck so we can get that nice, clean, and crisp audio. We've got 2 microphones plugged into here. We've also got the computer. That's the PowerPoint presentations and the videos the teachers want to show you. That gets plugged into the deck so it shows onto the screen. Other things that we've got happening is obviously we've got a pair of headphones so that when we're presenting, the person listening in can make sure all the audio levels are correct. And we also have a hard drive plugged into the deck, which basically stores all the recorded footage from our live stream so we can put it onto ICTV and get you guys to watch it if you don't have a mobile phone or internet at home. And those are the main peripheral devices that we have connected to the setup.
How you going, guys? So let's take a little bit closer look at the peripheral devices that we can use every day in different people's setups. So here I have my school laptop. Now within a laptop, everything is within the computer. You have your keyboard and your mouse within the actual computer itself. But if we take a look over here, this computer has the screen and the computer within itself. However, there's no keyboard or mouse attached to it. So that's where the peripheral devices come in. We have an external mouse, an external keyboard, which get plugged in to the USB ports underneath. And then, depending on what kind of work we're doing, we might need other things. So for example, this is Miss Rebecca's setup. She has 2 screens, which makes things easier for her. Instead of flipping between different documents, you can have one on either side. She has an SD card reader, so ones that come out of the cameras, a hard drive, and some headphones for listening to the audio. So everyone's setup can be different, but these peripheral devices can help our lives a lot more and make things a lot easier. Awesome. I hope you guys had a lot of fun today, checking out other people's setups and how they use things. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. You guys stay safe. Have a great week.
Good afternoon, all of you wonderful people out there, and welcome back to day 2 of integrated learning. And yes, it's actually getting very chilly this side of the world. I had my jumper on, but Miss Rebecca said I'm being funny. And I'm being weak because I'm feeling cold. But anyway, I'll look nice for you lot. High five and welcome to our lesson, and great stuff. Now, yesterday we listened to things we can control and things we cannot control. What can we control? What can't we control? And today we're going to listen to a conversation between Mr. Toby and Mr. Dave. Mr. Dave is slightly stressed out about things in his life and has no idea about coping skills whatsoever. So have a listen to the advice that Mr. Toby gives Dan. Dave, listen up.
Davey, how you going?
Can I have a yarn?
Yeah, it's too easy.
I just got a new job. I'm going to be a stable hand over here.
Well done, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. It's on the weekends, on Saturday, Sunday, but I got a few things that are stressing me out all the time, and can I share them with you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I wrote them down here because Miss said I should come to yarn with you, so I thought maybe write it down. And
Perfect.
I'm going to miss out on football most weeks, so I have to work during the time I play football on Saturday, Sunday. So and then I can't go shopping with the fellas and with the house parents, and I'm going to miss out on seeing my friends. My boss gave me a booklet to try and understand my role at the stable hands, and there's a couple of things I'm not sure about, so it's stressing me out. You know, I want to do a really good job of work, but the booklet's really confusing.
Sure.
My boss said, come to me next week with my driver's license, but I'm doing my L's next week, so I don't know how to tell him I can't come next week because I got to do my L's, and then I'm going to miss out on work. So I'm stressed out that I might lose my job or something, and I'm having trouble with the early starts. I wake up in the morning to go to school, and on Saturday, Sunday I got to get up at 5:45 instead of 7:30. You know, like it's making me stressed out at school. I've got assignments that my teachers want me to finish, so I can finish my year 12. But it's just, you know, I'm focusing on my mind's focusing on my work instead of trying to focus on my assignments.
I think the tricky thing, or the tough thing in those situations is we're trying to control a lot of things that we can't control. And so we get ourselves more wild, more frustrated. And so I wonder if it's worth sort of checking in, like, and looking at how we can, what little goals we can set to take control of things that we can control. And the more we do that, perhaps the less stressed out or wild we become about the things that we can't do anything about, you know? What's the thing that's probably most important, that's most affecting you out of the things that you just listed?
Just my tiredness in the morning.
So what can you do to, like, what can you control to help you feel less tired of a night?
Maybe I can go to bed a bit earlier.
Sure. So that's something you can manage and achieve?
Yeah, and maybe just do fun things like go over to Clontarf and kick the footy around for a little bit after the school to try and get my energy coming back from after school.
Yep. So exercise is very good for your sleep as well, and to help you get to sleep. Do you think that'd be enough to help you feel better in the morning, or is it at least worth giving it a try?
Yeah. I think it's worth giving it a try, and maybe I can go talk to my house parent.
Sure.
If I'm feeling stressed. And
get that off your chest, out of your head a little bit with someone that you trust. I think is an awesome idea.
Okay. The next bit is the booklet. I just maybe I can take the booklet to school and get the teachers to help me with it.
Yep. So it might feel a bit overwhelming or a bit much, the whole thing. So what goals can you set so that you can start to take control again?
Well, I just try and break it down and try and do a few pages a day and try and get through the booklet before I go back to work on Saturday.
So work through it slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
I got a week to do it, so as long as I ask what I don't understand and then understand it, I'll be able to do a better job at work.
Sounds ideal. What's next on your list?
Missing out on footy. I want to play finals, you know.
That's a big one.
My team it's the most important thing. You know, I love school, but I want to play footy.
Yeah, totally. So is there anything you can control, any changes you can make to ensure that you're still able to get to some of the sessions that you need to?
Maybe I can talk to my coach, and if I get there a bit late on the late games, I can still play in the afternoon on a Saturday.
So having a yarn with your coach is a great start. Yeah. Anything else that you might need to do?
Try and be proactive at work so I can get away early.
Oh, great idea. Yeah, maybe have a yarn with your boss about it. See if you can set some small goals so that the work less of an impact on your your footy.
Yeah, okay.
Great. What else is there?
It's needing to go and do my L's on the weekend. I'm not sure how to tell my boss, won't be able to go.
All right. So you can't control how your boss is going to react.
Yeah.
But what can you control?
Or how I can go to him and ask him if it's okay if I have a week off or something.
Sure. So make some time to go and have a conversation with him, have a yarn with him. Yeah, great.
I got one more. It's trying to get through my schoolwork.
Right.
There's assignments that teacher wants me to do, and with everything going on, trying to do too many things at once, I think.
Sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot. So so again, all that schoolwork sounds like pretty full on, like a lot. What's some goals you can set, or what's some things you can do to start feeling less wild, less stressed out about it?
Maybe I can take some schoolwork back to the dorm and do the things I miss out on at school to try and get through my assignments.
Yeah.
Ask this teacher for help if I don't understand, so I can try and do my best to do the schoolwork that I need to get done.
Sure. So you can't control how much work you get given, but you can take a bit of control over, how you tackle the issue.
Yeah.
Good. I think that's a great start, Davey. Well done.
Okay, so I can control a lot of stuff, and now I just got to be proactive and be willing to listen and try and work through things slowly and take control of the things I can control and not worry about the things I can't.
Yeah. I think it's a great start.
Yeah.
Let me know how you go.
All right, thanks, Toby.
Too easy. Good to see you.
See you, Toby.
Righto. Now you've learned and heard a lot. Oh well, but whether you learned anything from all that talking, we don't know. But let's recap on everything that was said. There's a lot of things Dave had problems with. Let's look at the little clip. It says he's going to miss out on footy, his workbooks, waking up early, driver's license, school assignments. All of those things.
Hello. Fix your mic.
Oh, fix my mic. What can I say, people? See, this is one of those things. You see, she can do things that you can't control. Those are things you cannot control, people. And this is what you do. You just move on. So Mr. David got all these issues, and Toby gave him some advice. Talk to the coach, take your workbook home, go to bed early, ask for time off, and take some schoolwork back to boarding and ask teachers for help. Now, obviously, you won't remember all of those things. So what I've done is I've put it down in a nutshell. I've put it down to 4 strategies you can think about and you can use. The first one, control the things you can. Control the things you can. Number 2, set some goals. Number 3, be willing to listen. And then number 4, talk to your house parent, or if you're at home, talk with a family member. So let's look at your worksheet in your book. In your book, you will have your worksheet that says title and date, the speaker's name, you have your tips, and you have your strategies. Now, obviously, you're going to be under your speaker. You're going to say Toby. That is under your speaker. And then down here at the bottom, you are going to fill in the 3 things that you think you can do. I'm going to say control things you can. The things you can. Set some goals. And lastly, be willing to listen. Now that is an important aspect. There are 3 things. These are 3 things that will get you everywhere in life. Your willingness to control the things that you can control, setting goals, and be willing to listen. If you do not listen to the advice that's given, then it will get you in a lot of trouble. So, hope you had a good time listening to Dave and Mr. Toby, and see you again. Bye-bye.
Hello, welcome back to another week of Yirara to You. This week we're going to start another mini unit that will see us through to the end of this term. This one's around drugs and alcohol. Let's get started. First thing I want to know is what you already know about drugs. So in your workbooks, I want you to flip to the first activity, and there's a little space for you to write down what does the word drug mean. What's the first thing you think of when you hear that word? So this lesson, what we're learning about is drugs, what they are. By the end of today, you should be able to define the word drug and classify things as either being a drug or not a drug. Let's get into it. A drug is any substance other than water or food that when we put it into our body, it changes the way our brain and body functions, changes how it works. There are both helpful and harmful drugs. Things that are good for us and bad. And another way we can look at it is drugs that are legal, that are okay to have, and there's drugs that are illegal, which are against the law. Take a moment to complete the closed passage in your workbook. Fill in the missing words using the slide to help. First thing we're going to do is play a little game of drug or no drug. I'm going to show you an image, and I want you to think about the definition of a drug as something that when we put into our body changes the way that it works. And I want you to tell me, is that a drug or not a drug? If you have someone with you, you could have a chat with them about it. Let's get started. Here we have a bottle of water. So what do you think? Is this a drug or not a drug? That's right. Water is not a drug. It's one of the exceptions in our definition. Water does not change the way our body or brain functions. However, it is important, and our body relies on having enough water to function correctly. Next, a cigarette. Drug or no drug? What do you think? A cigarette is a drug. Tobacco and nicotine changes the function of our body and brain, therefore it is a drug. Next, Panadol. Drug or no drug? Panadol is classified as a drug. Even though it is legal to have and helpful for our body, it changes the way our brain interprets pain signals and the way our body responds to an injury. Next, Coke. Drug or not a drug? Coca-Cola is in fact a drug. It contains sugar and caffeine, both of which change the way that our body and brain functions. Next. Fruit. What do we think? Drug or no drug? Fruit is not a drug. Our body relies on the fibre and minerals and vitamins to function properly and function well, but it does not change the way our body normally functions. Next. Alcohol. Drug or no drug? Alcohol is a drug. It impacts on the function of our brain and several parts of our body. Next, energy drinks. Drug or no drug? Energy drinks are in fact drugs. They contain large amounts of caffeine, which changes the way our brain functions and speeds up our central nervous system. The last activity for today's lesson is a find and sort drugs or no drugs. In your activity booklet, you'll find a table with a bunch of different pictures. What you need to do is look at each picture and decide whether it is a drug or not a drug. If you think it is a drug, put a tick somewhere in the box. If you think it's not a drug, put a cross. Let's see how you go. Okay, great work on today's lesson. What I want you to do going away is, before we meet again next time, I want you to have a conversation with someone and tell them in your own words what a drug is and how we can decide if something is or is not a drug. See you next time.
To my brothers out there that's struggling, hustling, keep your head up, cause we do care. I know you're fed up, just keep your head up, just keep your head up. To my brothers out there that's struggling, hustling, keep your head up, cause we do care. I know you're fed up, just keep your head up, just keep your head up.
I woke up one day and I'm feeling truly blessed. With this life I got to live, but my hand on my chest, praying for the best, living in the moment, that's the truth. Well, I'm telling you, get it too, you know, that's how we do it. To my brothers and my cousins and the struggle, listen, put the way for the future and the body distance. Keep the faith, make a change, reach for the star, putting it up, holding it down while I spit this boss.
In this time or another, when we need each other, I look around, all I see is a brother from another mother. So don't stress, put me to the test. I'm SD, RTL, best of the best. This is to my day one, brother Jake, hey, you were with me from the start, showing me the way, forever grateful for your love and care in my life. Time for me to keep going, let's feel the hype.
To my brothers out there that's struggling, hustling, keep your head up, cause we do care. I know you're fed up, just keep your head up, just keep your head up.
My brother,
To my brothers out there that's struggling, hustling, keep your head up, cause we do care. I know you're fed up, just keep your head up, just keep your head up. That's my brother, that's my cousin, that's my brother, that's my cousin, that's my brother, that's my brother, that's my brother, that's my brother. I hope this message healed the damage that was inflicted on you, so I'm taking it from you, cause I'd rather see my brothers loving and loving instead of suffering and struggling. Just hope one day my brothers can find a light. Nothing better than seeing them succeed and living a better life, so they better believe I'ma be standing by their side. I'ma be their God that they never had, that they never had.
We see coming at ya, looking at for my brothers. Respect for each other, respecting your mothers. We do the right thing, representing the youth. It ain't about lying, it's all about truth. Look after your mom, be an inspiration. Keep the torch burning for the first people of nature. Look up to your elders, listen to their lessons. Hear us when we tell ya, we ain't even messing.
To my brothers out there that's struggling, hustling, keep your head up, cause we do care. I know you're fed up, just keep your head up, just keep your head up.
My brother,
To my brothers out there that's struggling, hustling, keep your head up, cause we do care. I know you're fed up, just keep your head up, just keep your head up. That's my brother, that's my cousin, that's my brother, that's my cousin, that's my brother, that's my brother, that's my brother, that's my brother.
Try and stay positive, that's all I ever hear. I'm real sick and tired, being stuck in first gear, never knowing what tomorrow might bring. Thank God for my brothers, for the song to sing. It's a song of hope, the future might hold a brighter day for us, the young and the old, looking up to the...
Good morning.
Welcome back to Yirara. Hello, Year 11 and 12s. We're back and I'm doing some integrated learning today. We're looking at the effects of alcohol on our bodies. Now, it's pretty information heavy. There's a lot to take in, so I'll keep it fairly short and we'll do one worksheet at the end. But for now, I'm going to talk you through how our bodies can be affected by alcohol short term and by alcohol long term. Okay, so follow along with me. This information was actually in your workbooks, but it's a little bit hard to read and it's quite, there's not heaps of information in there, so I'm going to tell you a bit more and hopefully that'll help you with some more activities. Okay, so when we're looking at the impacts of alcohol abuse or drinking alcohol, it can be different for each person. So it can depend on things like your gender, if you're male or female, your mental and physical health, if you've got any medical conditions, and also if you're using any other drugs or medications. Alcohol can affect you differently, and that's one thing we have to remember as we're going through all this information. It can affect you more quickly if you drink on an empty stomach, if you've eaten nothing that day, if you have a lower tolerance to alcohol, if you have a lower percentage of muscle on your body. It can also affect you more if you're younger. It can affect you more if you weigh less. And also, if you don't usually drink much alcohol, your body might not be used to it. So all these things can make alcohol more or less effective on your body. So short-term effects, these are some of the impacts of alcohol abuse. So I'm just going to go through them. There are a lot. And these also depend on who you are and your experience or what you drink. So you can have diarrhea, you can have vomiting, blackouts or passing out, you can have drowsiness or sleepiness, slurred speech, you find it hard to speak, impaired judgment, trouble concentrating. You can get poisoning from alcohol, just too much in your system. You can have coordination issues, fall over, you can't control your body. Blurred vision, you find it hard to see. You can have a reduced body temperature. You can have raised blood pressure. Your mood can swing. You can accidentally injure yourself, and this injury can happen to you or it can happen to others as well. And also,
Overweight or obesity. So if you're drinking, this can happen quite quickly if you're drinking every weekend, or and that can also be long-term as well. Okay, now we're going to look at some more long-term effects, and these are when you drink for a long time over a period of time, and these can be quite damaging to your body. So the first one is cancer. You can get cancers throughout your body if you're drinking lots. Hepatitis, you can have liver disease and liver failure. Erratic mood changes. Now, mood changes was also in your short-term effects, so that can be both long-term and short-term. You can have mental health issues, and one of these is depression, which is low mood. You can have something called substance abuse, and this was also the same when we were talking about smoking. You become dependent or addicted to alcohol, just like you can with nicotine. So if you have depression or anxiety, it can become especially, become especially addicted because it helps make you feel better. It can also, if you've got a family history or alcohol dependence, that can also be an issue, so substance abuse. You can have an increased risk of diabetes and weight gain. There's that one again, weight gain. That can be short-term or long-term. Fertility issues, that's when women are trying to get pregnant, have babies. You can have issues there if you've got alcohol in your system for a long time. Brain damage and brain-related conditions such as stroke, so that's a bleeding to the brain, and dementia, and that's when you start losing your memory and things go wrong in your brain. Heart issues, so you can have high blood pressure, heart damage and heart attacks. And then the last one on there is birth defects and Fasd, so fetal alcoholic syndrome. So that's when you have a woman might have a baby inside them and they're drinking while they're pregnant, and it can cause issues to the baby long term. So here's just a picture sort of summing up all the different areas of our body that alcohol abuse can affect. And it's quite heavy and it can be quite overwhelming, but that's why we're here to help educate and let you know about them so we can be careful with how we choose, what we choose to do with our bodies. That's just a picture, and some of those things we've talked about: the lung, memory loss, addiction, infertility, etc. Okay, so now I'm going to just show you what you might be seeing in your workbooks. All that information is here, but just in less detail. Now, what you can do from the information that I have given you, we can actually answer this, this sheet here. And some of these things you're going to have to write if the effects below are short-term or long-term. And some of them might be both. So I'll read through what you've got here on your sheet, and you're going to write what you think it is, short-term, long-term, or both. So here's just some of the effects that I spoke about. So we have vomiting, risk-taking, then there's liver disease, blackout or pass out, birth defects or Fasd, cancer, obesity or becoming overweight. This one here is falling over, and then the last one is depression. So you're going to go through and you're going to have a look whether you think they're going to affect your body short-term, long-term, or both. Now, I'm going to keep it short today because that's a lot of heavy information, but tomorrow, just to get you starting to think about it, we're going to have a look why some people might stop drinking. And some of the reasons that we have spoken about today might be some reasons why people stop drinking, and this is teenagers, or why you think adults might stop drinking. Do you think people stop because of some of these health impacts? That's just something for you to think about. And for now, I'm going to hand over for maths, and Paul's going to take over, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Hey, welcome back, senior students. We've got a maths lesson, but before we get into the maths lesson, I've got a special guest here today who is going, I want to see if I can make him laugh at some of these bad jokes, okay? So let's see how we go. You ready, Tony?
Yeah.
Now, actually, this isn't fair. If he's smiling behind that mask and I can't see, he might be laughing but not out loud. Can you tell, is he smiling or not? Anyway, okay, let's see how we go. Tony, do you know why you never see elephants hiding up trees?
Why?
Because they're really good at it. They're good at hiding! That's why you can't see them. Okay. Okay. Oh dear. Why don't blind people skydive?
Why?
Because it scares their dogs. Okay. As a scarecrow, people say I'm outstanding in my field. But hey, it's in my genes. Hey, it's in... Okay. Tony, are you smiling? No, okay. Oh. No, that was funny. Okay, Tony, I stayed up all night and tried to figure out where the sun was. Then it dawned on me. Okay. I couldn't believe the highway department called my dad a thief. But when I got home, the signs were all there. Okay, we got three more.
You can
do it,
Tony, can a kangaroo jump higher than the Empire State Building?
No.
Of course, the Empire State Building can't jump. Okay. Why did the duck say, what did the duck say when it bought some lipstick?
What?
Put it on my bill.
Okay.
There's
a laugh there, Tony.
And a horse walks into a restaurant. The waiter says, "Hey!" The horse replies, "Sure."
Oh.
Okay, thanks, Tony. Yeah, and I think the best laugh was when you gave me your serious face by pulling your mask down. Boy, that didn't go very well. I hope, has it been like this every day when you've been listening to my jokes out there? Anyway, hopefully we'll do better. We got maths. Yesterday you might remember that Miss Flo looked at linear measurement. And I was thinking about that and I thought, well, really, if you think of the word linear, it's got to do with the line. So if we can draw a line between two things, 2 points, we can do a linear measurement on it. So you might remember that there was things like a clock, and that where it tells the time, it's giving us a measurement of time, but it's not linear measurement because it's not in a line. We're not going from one point to another. But when we go, say, from Alice Springs to Elliot, we can do a linear measurement of that distance. Let's have a look at our worksheet today. And this says, you'll be really happy to know that this lesson today is going to be quite short. So it says, what words describe linear measurement? We don't need to measure, we just need to become familiar with some of the words that we use when we're doing linear measurement. So the blue box at the top of the page says there are many words to describe linear measurement, such as length. We've got long, longer, longest, also distance. Width, wide, wider and widest. Depth, deep, deeper, deepest. And height, high, higher, highest, also tall, taller, tallest. So this is your job, is to match up some of these words. As we look at this car here, they've done the first example for us. There's this ute, and so going from the back of the ute to the front of the ute, the two words that we can use are long and length. So we can measure the length to see how long it is. With this TV screen, what words from up here can we use for the TV screen? And I need
I'll give you, the only clue I'm going to give you is that there are two words there that you can use here with this TV screen, and notice the direction that the arrow is going. So it's not referring to the height of the screen, it's referring to what measurement of the screen. And lastly, down the bottom, there is a map there, and what word, we've already used long and length. We're going to use two words here, so there'll be one word that we can use in the last one that we haven't used yet on this map. The second little problem here has got to do with these words: high, height, tall, short, deep, and depth. We've got it looks like one of those sort of octopus things on it at the show, a ride that someone's on, and this measurement is measuring what? Again, it's two of those words, and look, this time rather than having 5 words, we've got 6 words. So I would say that there's probably 2 to go here, and 2 here, and 2 in the end. So we're looking at this octopus ride, and what's the arrows showing us? This linear measurement of what? Then we've got a couple of basketballers, and one basketballer has bigger shoes than the other one does. No. What's the measurements? So we've got, and there's 2 words. One word's going to apply to the fella on our left, and another word's going to apply to the fella on the right. And then the last one is, this looks like a crossing, but maybe it's something like the South Alligator Crossing or something. We've got a sign here, and I think it actually almost gives it away there, but there's a couple of words that we can use here in the last picture as well. Then let's go over, after you've filled out those words, so really, so far, with those 2 words written, there was 11 words altogether, less 2. You've only had to write 9 words so far, so that's been quite easy. Let's have a look at the next one. Here we're going to use the words in the box below to complete the sentence and questions. The words are long, wide, length, width, and distance. First question, was it a something way to walk? Was it a length way to walk? Was it a distance way to walk? What's the answer? You need to fill that in. The door is not very something. The table can't fit through it. I drive a short something to work every day. And what is the something and something of that table? So those 5 words go into these 5 spaces here. Then use the words in this box below to complete the sentence and questions. The words are high, height, tall, short, deep, and depth. My brother is very depth. No, he's not. Just joking. So, but what word does go in there? My brother, well, it could go either way, couldn't it? Depending on which brother you're talking about. The water is over the road. It is too something to drive through. The fence is not very something. I can jump over it. What is the something of the roof? The shop is very close. It is only a something walk. What is the something of the water? Actually, I was just thinking, this is just a spontaneous thought. Let's try depth in each of those boxes, see if it works. My brother is very depth. Nah. The water is over the road. It is too depth to drive through. Doesn't sound right. The fence is not very depth. I can jump over it. No. What is the depth of the roof? The depth of the roof? Don't think so. The shop is very close. It is only a depth walk. No. What is the depth of the water? Sounds good. So you fill in those, and then you've got a bit of a word search down the bottom here where all of these, the words from questions 1 and 2. So from back on the previous page and then question 2, those words, long, wide, length, width and distance, are all hidden in there somewhere. So again, just a quick lesson today, but we're thinking about linear measurement, and that's what we're looking at measurement this term. So enjoy just doing that quickly, get maths out of the way, and we'll be back tomorrow. And hopefully I'll have some better jokes. Okay, take care, God bless.
To today's art lesson. Today we're going to be learning all about composition. So composition is a big word that some of you might not have heard before. And when we talk about composition in art, we talk about the way that we arrange things. So the different ways, all of the different ways that we can put things together. So what I want you to have a go at doing today is having a go at drawing something 3 different ways. And what I suggest that you do for this activity is that you choose maybe 2 things or 2 objects that you might find around your house and have a go at arranging them. Okay, welcome to today's art lesson. We're going to be drawing a pair of sunglasses and a Coke can, and I'm going to be doing 3 different arrangements of these objects. And another word for this in art is composition. So 3 different compositions of the objects, and I'm looking at them in front of me as I draw them. So I'm now rearranging. And as I normally do, I'm doing a quick pencil sketch first, and then I'm going to go over this in a darker colour. So I've chosen to do the Coke can and the sunglasses because I like the shape, I like the cylinder, and I also like to have a go at drawing different types of fonts. So I encourage you to have a look around your home and maybe try and find something similar, even if you want to do the same kind of drawing. So in this last one that I'm doing, the Coke can is in front and the sunglasses are behind. So I'm just adding some final detail and going over my sketch in black pen. And the last thing that I'm going to do is just add a little bit of colour. So there we have our 3 different compositions. Each of them are different arrangements, and you can decide which one you like best.
Good morning.
Welcome back to Yirara.